1 Chapter 1 You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The Earth is about to be destroyed. An ethereal voice spread throughout every corner of the world. All humans couldn't help but look up at the sky when they heard this. Then, the blue and white sky gradually dimmed, and the blood-red dyed the sky. For a moment, the whole world was in chaos. What on earth happened? Whoosh! The next moment, the light of fire appeared in the sky. As the firelight gradually enlarged, everyone saw clearly that it was a meteorite. The whole world was in a panic. Boom! The meteorite fell to the ground and exploded. Fortunately, the meteorite fell in the center of the sea. The meteorite was powerful, but there were no casualties at present. Creatures on the earth have a chance to save themselves. At this time, the ethereal voice sounded again. Now no one thought it was an auditory hallucination. All humans pricked up their ears and carefully listened to this opportunity to save themselves. The killing world starts. As soon as he finished speaking, the void exploded. A huge space crack that covered the sky and sun appeared in front of everyone. In the killing world, demons are everywhere and tens of thousands of races are standing side by side. Only by killing can one obtain eternity. All humans between 15 and 40 years old will be brought to the killing world. You will find the chance to save the earth in endless crisis. Set off, in the bustling city of human beings, more than 80% of the people's bodies began to collapse. In no time, those people turned into starlight and entered the space crack in the sky. Good luck. In a dark wooden house. Dick looked around calmly. It was so dark and terrible. Dick had just come to this strange place from the earth. At first, he was as panicked as the others, but after knowing that there was a chance to be saved, he quickly calmed down. In a world full of demons and different races, panic would only make a person die faster. All of a sudden, Dick's eyes were fixed on a projection screen. On it, there were words that he could understand. Welcome to 100-2548 Green Hand Village. Note: people from each country will be allocated to different Green Hand villages. Dick felt that his head was pricked by a needle. After a stabbing pain, a lot of information related to the killing world appeared in his memory. Grade division, material introduction, geographical introduction. After Dick digested the information, two options appeared on the projection screen. Personal information and chatting channel, 100-2548 Green Hand Village. Dick opened the personal information bar. Name: Dick. Level: 0 talent. None yet. Skill: none yet. Body value: blood vitality 100, energy 100, strength 6, defense 3, agility 5. Seeing the data plate, Dick couldn't help but think of the time when he played online games. Is this a real person online game? Dick thought to himself and opened the chatting channel. Many people's profile pictures were flashing. They were the real faces of each person, along with their names and ages. At this moment, everyone was shocked by their own experience. At the same time, they were also worried about their family on the earth. Some people were looking forward to the next dangerous and exciting trip. I'm so scared to be alone in the little dark room. I wonder how my aged parents are doing. Yes, I'm also worried. How can they live without me? The world of killing. I'm looking forward to it. If I find an opportunity to save the earth here, will I become a hero after I go back? Speaking of saving the earth, Dick actually didn't care about that. He had no relatives or friends there, so he had nothing to worry about. Compared to the earth, he preferred the laws of the killing world. A difficult problem. Just kill. Depressed. Kill someone to vent my anger. Under the various legal restrictions of the earth, there was no place to experience such a thrilling feeling. In the killing world, one could kill people at any time and anywhere without taking any responsibility. However, the premise of all the happiness was that one's own combat effectiveness was strong. Otherwise, one would be worried that he or she would become the prey or vent object of others. Announcement. 10 minutes later, 100-2548 Green, Hand Village will be open to the outside world. Dick was stunned for a while and then chose to wait quietly. Now that he knew nothing about the outside world, it was the best choice to let others explore the way. BVEC, as long as not everyone died together, someone would always bring a message back. It was not until he got the outside information that Dick knew what he would face and how to deal with it. When he looked at the chatting channel again, he found that everyone had changed the topic. I have actually awakened my talent. I have also awakened. What? Why didn't I? Me neither. I have awakened my level C talent. Some of them had awakened their talents. Dick took a look at his message bar. Talent. None, yet this made him frown. Based on the information that suddenly entered his mind before, Dick had a conclusion. Only those who had reached a certain level of physical strength would awaken their talents, and the level of their strength also determined the level of their awakened talents. The talent was divided into 9 levels including F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and S. Dick's physical strength was so low that he hadn't even reached the threshold of awakening the lowest level of talent. This made him, who had been looking forward to a wonderful journey, become disappointed in an instant. However, he quickly adjusted his state of mind. He had one thing less than others. Only by being more careful could he survive in the killing world. Suddenly, Dick heard a mechanical voice. Congratulations. You activated the divine level plunder system. Dick was stunned by this sudden voice. Then there was a flash of surprise on his face. It was a system. He had never expected that what was written in the novel would happen to him. Dick asked with joy, System, what's your function? The divine level plunder of system can plunder the talent of the dead, regardless of their level. This. Didn't it just make up for the vacancy of his talent? If a person with SSS level talent died, wouldn't it mean that he also had SSS level talent by plundering that person's talent? This function was much more powerful than SSS. Dick was more delighted. 100-2548 Green, Hand Village is open to the outside world. Hint. Every green hand can have the most basic equipment. The mysterious existence said again. Then Dick saw a backpack section in his personal information bar. Among them, there was a set of equipment. Straw shoes, agility +5, cloth clothes, blood vitality +20, dagger, strength +10. Dick put on the equipment calmly and waited in the darkness. Waiting for others to explore the world. Even if he had the system, he still had to be careful in the unknown world. Moreover, the system could only plunder the talent of the dead. With his current ability, he was not confident in killing anyone alone. 2 Chapter 2 You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the dark, Dick got information about the outside world through the chatting channel. Are the people in the village local to the killing world? Outside the green, Hand Village, there is a boundless forest. Oh my God. The monsters here are so strong, aren't they? It took me a lot of effort to kill a magical beast. You are all right. I was almost killed. Guys, come here quickly. I met a tough magical beast, and several of our men have been seriously injured. We are coming. When one side is in trouble, the other sides will show their support. We humans must unite together. I'm here. Let's watch me kill them. Seeing this, Dick turned off the chatting channel. After more than 10 minutes, he finally took his first step in the world of killing. The moment his feet fell on the ground, the darkness around him quickly receded like fog, and the countless buildings around him became virtual. All the buildings were made of thatches. It seemed that the civilization here was still very backward, but Dick had no time to observe it. He rushed to the place where his compatriots were caught in trouble. Soon, Dick came to a forest in dead silence. There was no response. It seemed that the magical beast had been solved. As Dick went deeper into the forest, he saw many claw marks, many trees that were broken from the waste, and more than a dozen corpses lying on the ground. It could be seen how fierce the magical beast was. Dick felt lucky that he had waited for a while, or he might become one of these corpses. He came to the nearest corpse. This person was torn into halves by the magical beast, and his organs were scattered all over the ground. It was the first time that Dick had seen such a bloody scene. He was more or less uncomfortable. However, to make up for his vacancy, he endured the disgust and walked forward. System, plunder his talent. Dick murmured in his heart, and then the voice of System came out in a second. Plunder succeeded. Congratulations to you for obtaining level F talent. Fire controlling. As soon as the voice of the system faded away, the talent column in Dick's personal information changed immediately. After knowing how to use this talent, he closed his eyes and stretched out his right hand to mobilize his energy according to the feeling in his heart. Whoosh! The next moment, a fire appeared in Dick's palm. As long as the energy in his body was enough, the fire could expand indefinitely. Moreover, he could not only make a fire but also control the natural fire. The stronger the energy was, the wider the range of control would be. Not bad. Dick said and walked to the next corpse. System, plunder. Dick had plundered a lot of talents this time. Other people only had one talent, but he had too many that he didn't know how to use them. However, the effects of many talents were not ideal. Most of them were level F and E, and some might not work in battles. Dick looked at the last corpse with expectation. The corpse didn't have a miserable look, whose 2 hands were removed. Dick could even tell what the dead looked like when he was alive. He must be a very strong man. System, plundering, congratulations on you for obtaining level C talent. Refinement. It could remove the impurities from all the materials. Dick was a little surprised that he could plunder a level C talent. However, the dead man was strong, and his level of strength should be very high. It was normal for him to have a level C talent. Dick looked at the dead body on the ground with pity. If this person was not dead, he would make great achievements in the future. Then, a smile appeared at the corners of his mouth. Now, this person's talent belonged to him, and the achievements this man could achieve in the future would also be achieved by him. How should I test this talent? Dick thought to himself, I should test what I just got. Otherwise, he didn't even know what effect his own talent would have. It could remove the impurities in all substances after passing through the killing world. The only thing he had was that set of equipment. I wonder if my talent can be used on the set of equipment. Dick took out the shoes, cloth clothes, and dagger from his backpack. Then he used the refinement talent to deal with these 3 items. As the shoes and other items flashed a light, their information immediately changed. Refined shoes, agility plus 10, refined cloth clothes, blood vitality plus 40, refined steel dagger, strength plus 20. The quality of the 3 pieces doubled, which made Dick stunned. No wonder it was a level C talent. It was really awesome. Regardless of his talent, he was one step ahead of others in terms of equipment alone. Moreover, as long as he had this talent, he would always take the lead in this step, and no one could surpass him. With these refined pieces of equipment and many talents, he could at least defeat the magical beast of LV2. Before the battle started, his combat effectiveness had improved significantly. All in all, Dick had a good harvest this time. It took him a long time to calm down. After that, he fumbled for the body of the strong man. Since the talent was plundered from the strong man, he should have also refined his own equipment. Unfortunately, after searching for a while, Dick didn't find anything. It seemed that the reinforcements had taken all the materials away. Dick didn't return to Green Hand Village after he got what he wanted. Instead, he opened the chatting channel. After a period of time, he didn't know if the other humans had found new information. Damn it. Edward killed a wolf king of LV5. I was just promoted LV2. The gap is too big, isn't it? Edward has awakened a level B talent. I really regret that I didn't exercise hard before, but only awakened a level F talent. Ha. When Edward killed the wolf king of LV5, I happened to be helping him. With that share of experience, I was promoted to LV3. Damn it. I really envy you. When will Edward take me with him? Does anyone want to team up to fight against the boss? 3 Chapter 3 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dick got more information through the chatting channel. In the killing world, a person's level represented his strength. Of course, this did not represent a person's real combat effectiveness. High-level talent could play an unexpected role in a battle, and it could even make people cross many levels to defeat their opponents. And the easiest and direct way to raise the level was to kill the target and get the energy of the other party. Dick hadn't participated in any battle so far, so his level was still 0. However, he was not in a hurry. Edward, with level B talent, was only LV7. He had more than a dozen talents. How could his upgrading be inferior to the others? Even if the most powerful talent was only level C, there were still a lot of talents belonging to Dick. Others only had one talent, but he had many. This was an edge. After figuring out where his advantage lay and the rules of the killing world, Dick set out on his own and embarked on the endless hunting journey. Before long, Dick was targeted by the magical beast. The magical beast was the ruler of this forest. Naturally, they had already noticed the sudden appearance of so many humans. They wanted to expel the intruders, but the humans had been in groups and they couldn't make the breakthrough. Now that there was a human being left alone, there was no reason for the magical beast to let him go. Roar. A lion-like magical beast jumped out of the grass and roared at Dick. It's just in time. Dick smiled. Then, he saw a projection. It contained the basic information of the magical beast. Abyss Demon Lion, LV3, Blood Vitality 300, Energy 200, Strength 40, Defense 10, Agility 25. The introduction. A lion infected by the evil spirit, whose strong muscles are full of strength, and it has the talent of rage, which can easily tear its prey apart. After reading the message, Dick was even happier. He didn't expect that magical beast also had talent. However, the opponent's strength level made him more cautious. Dick took out the steel dagger excitedly, and a cold light flashed from the blade, making the air freeze in an instant. Roar. The Abyss Demon Lion roared and rushed to Dick. Its sharp claws stretched out from its flesh and blood, like a deadly sickle. Dick summoned the fire controlling talent and attached the strength of the fire element to the steel dagger. Then he rushed out like a hungry wolf. Zoo. The moment the two figures overlapped, a crisp sound of metal collision rang out, and sparks splashed in the void. The strong strength of the Abyss Demon Lion hit Dick hard and his body hit a big tree. Bang! The thick tree collapsed with a loud bang. The Abyss Demon Lion landed steadily on the ground. However, there was a long bloodstain on the right side of his body. The flat wound was cut by Dick's dagger, and there were traces of burning. This kind of injury was far more painful than ordinary knife wounds. The burning pain made the Abyss Demon Lion let out a painful and angry roar after landing on the ground. Damn it! The strength of LV3 is so powerful. Dick stood up in a hurry and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. When he looked at his strength level, he found the blood vitality fell from 140 to 103 after being attacked by the Abyss Demon Lion. The 3-point defense talent was able to withstand a portion of the damage, but it could be ignored in front of the powerful combat effectiveness of the opponent. Fortunately, the Abyss Demon Lion underestimated its enemy at the beginning and didn't use the talent of rage directly. Otherwise, Dick would have lost his blood just now. Dick, on the other hand, had a lot of talents, so he naturally wouldn't choose to fight the Abyss Demon Lion head-on, whose strength level was much higher than his. He had plundered a dozen talents before, and one of them was making poison. Because the talent level of poison making was not high, and there were no suitable herbs nearby, he only made some poison that could paralyze the nerves. In addition to the energy of the fire element, there was also a large amount of his special poison attached to the stab he gave to the Abyss Demon Lion just now. Now, the strength of the Abyss Demon Lion, which was eroded by the venom, was dropping sharply, and it would drop to 0 in less than a minute. Although Dick didn't know what would happen if his strength was 0, it would definitely affect him. What he needed to do now was to dodge the attack of the Abyss Demon Lion and wait for half a minute to see what would happen. If the declining strength of the Abyss Demon Lion did not affect him, Dick could only take other measures. As for the Abyss Demon Lion, its intelligence was very low and it hadn't realized that it had been poisoned. Its eyes turned red, and it pounced on its prey with anger. Dick dodged quickly. The agility of Dick was 10 points lower than that of the lion. Although Dick dodged the attack, his skin was still scratched by the sharp claws of the Abyss Demon Lion. His blood vitality dropped from 103 to 64. As Dick dodged, he only suffered 1/3 of the harm of the attack. But because the lion used the talent of rage, Dick still suffered a lot of damage. Hiss! Dick gasped. What a great talent! This made him more determined to plunder the talent of the Abyss Demon Lion. With such strong talent, he would definitely be invincible in the future. Seeing that his attack missed, the Abyss Demon Lion was ready to launch a third attack. This time, it slowed down a little and was almost invisible. Dick could see the physical data of the Abyss Demon Lion. His blood vitality was 284/300, his energy was 120/200, strength 38, defense 9, agility 23. The strength level of the Abyss Demon Lion had declined. It seemed that it was caused by the exhaustion of its strength. The poison began to erode its body. This time, Dick still narrowly escaped. However, the Abyss Demon Lion didn't hurt him as he completely avoided the attack. Then, the Abyss Demon Lion tried again and again, but it always failed. There were even several times when Dick had succeeded in counterattacking. Roar! The angry Abyss Demon Lion let out a deafening roar. Dick wiped the sweat on his forehead and looked at the Abyss Demon Lion with interest. After a while, the Abyss Demon Lion's flexibility had obviously decreased a lot, and its strength level had also been greatly reduced. Dick could easily dodge its attack and even change his blood without injury. The Abyss Demon Lion finally realized that there was something wrong with its body. It was estimated that it would not be a match for this prey if it was a little later. The lion changed its mind and wanted to run away. When its body returned to normal, he must teach this human a lesson. Seeing this, Dick immediately came forward to attack with the dagger. He had worked so hard for so long, but how could he let the Abyss Demon Lion run away? The movements of the Abyss Demon Lion were slow, and 3 or 4 wounds were left on its body by Dick. It was so angry that he wanted to fight back, but its attack after muscle paralysis was so weak. In the end, it became extremely difficult for the Abyss Demon Lion to walk. Dick cut him to death. The moment he killed the Abyss Demon Lion, a stream of energy flew out of its flesh and blood and entered Dick's body. Dick only felt warm in his body, and the tiredness after a long time of exercise was quickly fading away. At the same time, he also felt that his muscles were expanding and his strength was growing. In the profile bar, LV0 became LV1, 40/100, in the blink of an eye. After killing the enemy, he would obtain 1/10 of his strength, and the rest would return to the world of killing. But even if there was only 50% of strength, sharing the strength of an LV3 magical beast still made Dick upgrade directly. After upgrading, Dick's physical strength level doubled. Blood vitality 200, 160 plus 40, energy 120, strength 35, 15 plus 20, defense 10, agility 20, 10 plus 10. It didn't take long for Dick to recover, and he became even more vigorous than his peak state. At this time, he threw a punch. He was afraid that even an adult elephant on the earth would be killed by him. Great! Dick was in a good mood, with a bright smile on his face. However, things were not over yet. He came to the corpse of the abyss demon lion. Plunder. Plundering, the plunder is successful. Congratulations to you for obtaining the talent. Rage. The talent column in Dick's personal information changed again. Talent level D, Rage. Strength has been increased by 3 times, which will continue for 1 minute. This was the talent that was born for battle. With the talent of Rage, Dick could even fight against the magical beast of LV5. After plundering its talent, Dick used the dagger to separate the flesh and bones of the abyss demon lion. In the killing world, as long as the creatures had levels, their flesh and bones would be strengthened by their strength. Some high-level creatures' bones were even harder than steel. As a result, the bones of the dead were usually made into weapons. As Dick's trophy, the corpse of the abyss demon lion could help him earn the first bucket of money in the world of killing. After being busy for a long time, there was only a pile of useless meat residue left on the corpse of the abyss demon lion. And Dick continued his endless journey. Kill 1 LV1 magical beast, Dick LV1, 41 out of 100, kill 1 LV2 magical beast, Dick LV1, 61 out of 100, kill 1 LV5 magical beast, Dick LV3, 160/400, kill 1 LV7 magical beast, Dick LV5, 640/1600. For Chapter 4 you are listening at novelfull.audio. One day, the human chatting channel became lively. The discovery of a corpse shocked 150 million humans. We found the remains of an LV-10 magical beast in the north of the forest. What? LV-10? Are you sure you didn't say anything wrong? Why did I lie to you? I saw it with Edward. He can testify. Yes. And judging from the wounds on the corpse, it should be killed by human beings. Damn it. I'm shocked. Is there a human team strong enough to kill the magical beast of LV-10? We're in a team with Edward. The last time we met a magical beast in LV-10, we were beaten badly. Edward can't even beat the magical beast of LV-10. Who else can make it? No one spoke. Is the magical beast of LV-10 killed by a single person? How is that possible? That's right. The magical beast is so powerful, not to mention the LV-10 one. Edward has awakened level B talent. So far, he has only killed 1 magical beast of LV-5. Yes, Edward is the one who has the highest level of talent. Edward was badly injured in that battle and hasn't been able to do strenuous exercise yet. But if it wasn't a single person who killed LV-10's magical beast, then why didn't anyone reveal the information of that team? Well, that's impossible. That's incredible. If he is really a man, will he be more talented than Edward? Be quiet. Is there anyone in that team? Tell me who is so powerful. I hope he can stand out and lead us to find a way to save the Earth as soon as possible. Edward fell into silence as he looked at the projection. Was it really a single person who killed the LV-10 magical beast? Otherwise, with so many people in the team, it was impossible for everyone to keep the secret. If it was true. Edward's eyes became more and more passionate. That person's talent level was definitely higher than his. But that was not the point. The point was that that person knew the law of the killing world better than all humans. That was why he could improve his strength so quickly. Otherwise, no matter how high a person's talent level was, he couldn't grow strong enough to kill the magical beast of LV-10 in such a short time after he came to the killing world. It was precise because of this that Edward asked that person to stand out and lead the human race. During this period of time, he had led many of his companions to fight, which made him accumulate a very high reputation among humans. Since he could make such a far-sighted opinion, the other humans naturally wouldn't refuse him. On the contrary, most people would support Edward's decision. It was urgent to find an opportunity to save the Earth. Humans needed a hero who could truly lead them to grow rapidly in the killing world. Unfortunately, Edward's words were like a stone sunk into the sea, and there was no response for a long time. This made many people disappointed. They didn't know what that man was thinking. But since he didn't want to reveal his identity, they couldn't force him to shoulder the responsibility and do the moral kidnapping. However, not everyone was so considerate. Some began to curse that person, saying that he betrayed the human race. In the north of the forest, under the shade of a big tree, Dick's left hand was wrapped in blood-stained gauze. He looked at the curses in the chatting channel. Then he felt that his injury was almost healed, so he removed the gauze and closed the chatting channel. Dick's left hand was injured by the LV-10 magical beast. And he was also the hot topic in the chatting channel just now. A hero leading the human race. Ha! Who cares? Heroes usually died the first. He was a selfish person, and there was not a sense of responsibility in his heart. When he was on the earth, he was the lowest class of society, being humiliated and oppressed. At that time, no one was willing to speak for him. They didn't even want to take a look at him. Now that he was in the world of killing, he had to take the responsibility of leading the human race. For what? Sorry. He just wanted himself to live a better life. As for the others, what did they have to do with him? I don't want to go back to the world that once made me desperate. Dick looked up at the sky and sighed. His eyes were full of sadness. Then Dick calmed down and walked towards Green Hand Village. In the past few days, he had killed more than one magical beast. In addition to the magical beast of LV-10, he also killed dozens of magical beasts of different sizes. He had harvested a lot of materials, plundered a lot of talents, and his level had been promoted crazily. Dick had more than 10 times personal information than others. Name: Dick Grade. LV-7, 5120/6400, Talent. Eyes of God, Level B, Rage, Level C, Refinement, Level C, Poison Making, Level E, Fire Controlling, Level F. Skill: Trial of God, gather strength all over the body on a sword strike. The higher the level is, the stronger the power will be. Body value: Blood vitality 540, 500 plus 40, energy 300, strength 120, 100 plus 20, defense 30, agility 55, 45 plus 10. Backpack supplies: the blood of the Abyss Demon Lion, the flesh of the Abyss Demon Lion, and the blood of the 3-headed dogs. Now, Dick was going to earn his first bucket of money in the world of killing. Green Hand Village Manor was a peaceful area, and no one would make a move there. Even the irrational magical beasts dared not. There were many hawkers there who would sell and purchase all the materials in the killing world. As for where the hawkers came from and what kind of race they belonged to, no one knew. They were all regarded as NPC. After a while, Dick sold all the goods and materials in his backpack. The most valuable things on the magical beast were worth 100,000 gold coins in total. In the world of killing, Dick was the richest man. After all, almost everyone teamed up to kill the magical beasts, and the average value of the stolen goods was not much. Announcement: in 1002548 Green Hand Village, a person is promoted to level 10, and the ranking list is activated. Hint: only the top 100 warriors can enter the list. At this time, the mysterious voice sounded, or the mysterious man spoke again. His voice echoed in everyone's heart. In the eyes of all human beings, there was a projection. The first place was Edward, LV10. The second place was Kelvin Jia, LV9. The third place was Weiss, LV9. The fourth place was Amy, LV9. The fifth place. The 70.6th place. Dick, LV7. Why are their levels so high? Dick couldn't understand. He had killed a magical beast of LV10 alone. How could it be possible that he was still inferior to others in terms of strength? And there were so many people in front of him. There was no reason. Wait, he left Green Hand Village many days later than others. He had only been out for 3 days. On second thought, there were 150 million humans in the killing world. If Dick ranked 70, he was at least 99% ahead of the others. If that was the case, Dick was quite satisfied with the speed of his upgrading. Announcement. Announced the reward system of the Green Hand list. The reward will be given in real time after the list is fixed in a month. 5 Chapter 5 You are listening at novelfull.audio. The one who ranks first on the list will be rewarded with a top-level treasure box. From the 2nd to the 10th on the list, you will be rewarded with a level B treasure box. From the 11th to 30 on the list, 3 treasure boxes of level C will be awarded. From the 30.1st to 50 on the list, you will be rewarded with 2 treasure boxes of D level. From the 50.1st to 70 on the list, you will be rewarded with a treasure box of D level. From the 70.1st to 100 on the list, you will be rewarded with a treasure box of level E. Treasure Chest. The treasure chest is the reward set by the heavens. Open it and you will get the treasures inside. The treasure chests are divided into 7 levels. F, E, D, C, B, A, and S. The higher the level was, the easier it would be to open a high-level item. A treasure box above level 1 must have legendary weapons. The mysterious voice said the announcement slowly, but it ignited a fire in the hearts of everyone passing through. In this world based on the law of killing, if one could get a legendary weapon, wouldn't it be invincible? Looking at the chat channel, it was already in an uproar. Countless people were talking about what had just been announced excitedly. They were talking about how invincible they would be if they could also get legendary weapons. Many people had already been eager to find teammates, planning to advance to unknown places, and swore to be ranked in the top 100 of the lists of Green Hands within a month. Of course, it would be better if they could win first place. So did Dick. After hearing the announcement, he immediately ran to the edge of Green Hand Village. At present, various small groups had been occupied the place near Green Hand Village to hunt down and kill the magical beasts. If he continued to stay here and compete with others, it would definitely affect the speed of his upgrade. Moreover, because of the special nature of his talent, it was not a good thing to stay in a place full of people to take risks. He knew that once his talent was discovered, it would definitely attract the covet of evil people. He didn't want these troubles to affect his upgrade. After all, he was determined to get that treasure box of level A. He left Green Hand Village far away and saw a forest in front of him. A faint mist shrouded the forest, making the entire forest blurry, like a huge beast. Standing outside the forest made people feel shortness of breath. Anyone who had a little common sense would have thought that magical beast here must be extremely ferocious and powerful. That was why there were few people here. After all, not everyone had the courage and talent to take risks like Dick. They would rather keep the low-grade magical beast than risk their lives. Taking a deep breath, Dick walked into the forest. Within a few steps, he had disappeared in the thick fog. There was a smell of magical beast in his nose, which made Dick frown and cover his nose. But just with such a small movement, a black shadow suddenly flashed across the corner of his eyes, and at the same time, a fierce wind came to his face. At this critical moment, his agility, which was different from ordinary people, made his waist lean back as if it was broken. He narrowly escaped the black shadow that slapped his face, and his whole body jumped to the side. The black shadow in front of him finally showed its shape. It was a giant black bear that was more than 2 meters tall. Magical beast. Mutated giant bear of the forest, level. LV8, blood vitality 400/400, energy 130/130, strength 40, defense 15, agility 10. Skill. No. Explosive rate. 1%. With the talent of Eyes of God, the information of the forest giant bear was completely presented in front of Dick, which made him gasp. What on earth was this mutated giant bear? Although it was only LV8, its data was not inferior to the Abyss Demon Lion of LV10, which was a little behind on agility. But Dick didn't want to retreat. He came here to kill the magical beast. If he was afraid of the first magical beast, he'd better go back to Green Hand Village as soon as possible. Come on, let me see what you are capable of. Dick sneered and crooked his finger at the giant bear. The bear seemed to understand Dick's provocation and roared. It raised its claws and rushed towards Dick. His heavy body hit the trunk, and the trunk as thick as a water tank was knocked down to the side. In the blink of an eye, the bear came to Dick. With a slap, Dick had already climbed up relying on his agility. He turned his head and saw the giant bear's claw slapping on the ground where he had just stood. Immediately, cracks spread like a cobweb, and countless rocks flipped up. Dick couldn't help shivering. He quickly controlled his body and fell steadily on the tree, carefully observing the giant bear. Although his current level had reached LV7, with the support of various talents, he was far ahead of ordinary people in terms of numbers. But he had no doubt that if he was hit by this claw, he would probably be half disabled even if he did not die. That the only way to deal with it now was to rely on agility. Although this big thing had infinite strength, it moved slowly. In terms of long-term battle, I had the advantage. In an instant, Dick had made up his mind. He kicked his feet, and his body shot out from the tree. He actually took the initiative to kill the giant bear. Just as the giant bear turned around and waved its claws angrily, his body had floated to the back of the giant bear like a leaf, and he cut its leg. Although the bear let out a cry of pain, Dick frowned slightly. His slash only caused a little damage to the bear and did not pierce through its thick skin at all. Even the bear's blood energy had only dropped by a pitiful number. However, the giant bear seemed to be irritated. It roared angrily and clapped its claws randomly. Immediately, more than a dozen towering trees were cut down at the waist. Humph, do you want to fight with me recklessly? Let's wait and see. Dick shuttled through the claws of the giant bear like a butterfly. It looked dangerous, but in fact, even Dick's clothes were not touched by the giant bear. Meanwhile, the energy in the data of the giant bear was also constantly dropping, and agility was also constantly dropping. 20/130. Finally, the giant bear was out of breath and its claws became weak. Rage skill activated, and the blood-red light flashed and disappeared. Dick was covered in blood. The dagger in his hand had been broken, but there was a human-shaped hole in the body of the giant bear. Under the blow just now, Dick actually passed through the giant bear. Announcement. Dick of Green Hand Village completed the first kill of the mutated giant bear, and the reward is 1 point for prestige. Announcement. The first person with prestige appears, and the ranking list is opened. 6 Chapter 6 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Prestige point is extremely precious. After accumulating a certain number, you can exchange for a special reward. Only those who kill the mutated beasts for the first time can gain their prestige. And only the person who obtained the prestige could open the exclusive store of the prestige. The prestige list will be kept for a month, and the specific rewards will be given in the second month. As the mysterious voice slowly spoke out, a ranking appeared on the projection in front of everyone. It was as if the ranking list had been released at the very beginning. However, this time, there was only a single name on the ranking list, Dick. All of a sudden, the World Chat channel was in an uproar, and countless people were fiercely discussing. Who is he? Why haven't I heard of his name? Does anyone know who he is? The mutated giant bear. What's this magical beast? Why haven't I heard of it? Ah, I found him. He is also on the ranking list. It seems that his ranking is not low. What? Please take me with you. Look at me. I'm so sweet. Why? It's unfair. I was the first one to kill LV3 magical beast. Why didn't you give me any prestige? In the room, Edward frowned and looked at the name list in front of him. The mutated giant bear was indeed a name that he had never heard of. It was absolutely impossible to be the magic beast gaining points that could appear near Green Hand Village. But he didn't dare to go into the forest far away from Green Hand Village. There was only Dick's name on the list. Did he go hunting alone? Did it mean that he was also the one who had fought against the Abyss Demon before? Thinking of this, Edward jumped out of bed and walked out of the room, ignoring his previous injury, speaking to his member. Assemble at once and choose the LV8 or above. Let's go to the fog forest together. If I'm not wrong, the hero who can save the human and lead the human is likely to be there. The team member looked at the excited Edward and was stunned. He had thought that their previous appeal had made Edward give up hope on the so-called human savior, but he did not expect that he was still so concerned. What are you waiting for? Hurry up. Noticing that his teammate was still in a daze, Edward immediately raised his hand and pushed him. It was not until then that the latter realized what had happened and ran to gather more people. I hope my judgment is correct this time. Humans need the guidance of heroes, but that guide won't be me. Edward took a deep breath and said to himself. Then the news that Edward took someone to the fog forest spread all over Green Hand Village like a gust of wind. It was known to all that magical beast might have prestige attached was in the fog forest, which made more people eager to fight in the forest. In the mist, Dick sat on a big tree, holding his breath. He was wrapped in the sand, barely covering the heavy smell of blood on his body. He didn't have time to deal with the corpse of the giant bear. He just plundered an E-level talent, flesh strengthening from it. It was not that he didn't want to deal with the corpse of the giant bear, but the heavy smell of blood had attracted the attention of countless magical beasts. If he moved slower, he might be surrounded. The time limit of his rage talent has passed. If he continued to stay here and fought with them, he would definitely be courting death. A few minutes after he hit it, several magical beasts pounced on the corpse of the giant bear, sucking blood through its bones, and making one's hair rise. Dick didn't feel relieved until all the magical beasts were full and disappeared. He began to check his condition. Name: Dick Grade. LV8, 6500/8000, Talent. Eyes of God, Level B, Rage, Level C, Refinement, Level C, Poison Making, Level E, Fire Controlling, Level F, Skill. True God Trial, gather all your strength on a sword strike. The higher the level, the stronger the power will be. Body value. Blood vitality. 740, 700 plus 40, energy 350, strength 180, 160 plus 20, defense 80, agility 60, 50 plus 10, backpack material. A mysterious item dropped by the mutated giant bear. 100,000 gold coins. This kind of board data could be said to be extremely awesome. Even some people in LV9 were not as high in value as him. While after the power of the giant bear entered Dick's body, his thin body became stronger a bit. In contrast, the value of his blood and strength increased the most. Dick couldn't help laughing out because of the plundered skills from the giant bear. Flesh strengthening. Level E talent. Within 3 minutes, all negative effects will be eliminated, and your resistance and defense will be increased by 5%. Although this was only an E-level talent, and 5% of the resistance and defense was slightly better than nothing, the key point was that the negative effects would be eliminated. Dick had a talent for poison making. The encounter of the Abyss Demon Lion had confirmed that the negative effect on the battle was huge. But now he had the talent of strengthening his physical body. If others used a talent like making poison to him, it would be no different from digging their own grave. Then Dick looked at the mysterious item in his backpack, which was dropped by the mutated giant bear. According to the information he had read before, the possibility of a giant bear exploding was only 1%. It seemed that this time, it was really lucky for him to seize the 1% chance. Open. The cloud of smoke in his backpack flashed a few times, and then with a ding sound, a heavy box appeared in front of him. Level E Treasure Box. There is a 98% chance of opening a level 1 item, and there is a 2% chance of opening a level 2 item. Dick took a deep breath and opened the treasure box. Ding! With a light sound, the treasure box disappeared in front of him, and Dick had a heavy knife in his hand. The heavy knife almost made Dick lose his balance. Congratulations to your acquiring of a level 2 item, Giant Bear Blade. Giant Bear Blade. It is made of the bones of the mutated giant bear. It is sharp and hard to destroy. Attack plus 15, defense plus 10. Plus skill. Giant Bear Roar. Skill description. This skill is attached to the weapon and cannot be removed. If the weapon is damaged, the skill will also disappear. After being released, it could suppress 50% of the enemy's recovery ability. Dick couldn't help but feel ecstatic as he read the instructions. That was 2%. It seemed that he was really a man of great luck. 7 Chapter 7 You are listening at novelfull.audio. What surprised Dick more was that the blade also had the ability to restrain the enemy's recovery. Although this skill might not be very useful in the face of most enemies, if the enemies happened to have the recovery skill or talent, then he would be their nemesis. It happened that his previous dagger had been damaged in the battle, and this heavy blade had filled in the vacancy of his weapon. He put the blade on his lap, took a deep breath, and used the skill of refinement. The nature of this blade was already so amazing. No one knew how high it would reach after being refined. After a ray of light, the nature of the giant bear blade had been completely changed. Not only did it increase attack power by 25, but its defense also increased by 15. More importantly, the skill of restraining recovery increased from 50% to 70%. Dick took a few deep breaths to calm himself down. He took it as a treasure. Looking at the blade in his hand, he couldn't help shouting. At this moment, a sense of crisis enveloped him. He quickly lowered his body and made himself integrated with the leaves. When he lowered his head, he found that 5 wolf-like magical beasts had gathered under the tree he sat. It must have been caused by the noise when he opened the treasure chest and purified the items just now. Magical Beast. Demonic Wolf, Level. LV 6, Blood Vitality 200 to 200, Energy 100 to 100, Strength 25, Defense 8, Agility 20. Skill. No. Explosive Rate. 0.5%. Dick had just read the information of the magical beast under his feet and saw one of the giant wolves hit the trunk hard. The other wolves also followed and shook the huge tree. Dick lost his balance and had to jump down from the tree. As soon as his toes touched the ground, he saw the wolves turn around at the same time and roar at the same time. The roar seemed to have a strange power. Dick felt dizzy and slowed down his movement. Dizzy. Dick's board reminded him of his state in time. In the blink of an eye, the demonic wolf had rushed to his face. Flesh-strengthening talent activated. With Dick's thought, the negative dizziness was immediately dispelled. He regained his physical condition and had no time to raise the blade. He only had a hard punch on the giant wolf's mouth. Ouch! The demonic wolf let out a miserable howl. It did not expect that the dizzy enemy could counterattack so quickly, and it was hit in the mouth by this punch. The heavy force hit its head like a cannonball, and a hard wolf tooth was immediately smashed into pieces. The body of the demonic wolf, like a broken pocket, crashed into a tree. A cloud of white light came out of its body and quickly integrated into Dick's body. This demonic wolf was killed by a single punch. Dick was also surprised by his power, which made him instantly full of confidence. Seeing that their companions were killed in an instant, the remaining several demonic wolves became ferocious because of the smell of blood. They let out the dizzy howl and pounced on Dick at the same time. Dick sneered. He didn't retreat but moved forward. But this time, he didn't use his fist. The heavy blade waved like a windmill, splitting the hard body of the demonic wolf into two. Even the hard head of the wolf could not stop the blade at all. In less than 2 minutes, the 4 giant wolves also turned into corpses. System, plunder. Dick didn't dare to neglect. He walked to the demonic wolf and began to plunder their talent. Although he was very confident now, he was not stupid. The smell of blood here was so strong, and it might attract some incredible magical beast. Plundering. Plunder succeeded. Congratulations to you for obtaining talent. Dizzy. Level E talent dizzy. Emit sound waves. The target will be dizzy for 5 seconds. The time will increase with the growth of the user level. Dick couldn't help but whistle happily. This controlling skill was really practical. 5 seconds of dizziness was enough for the trend of life and death battle. When he plundered the talent of the second demonic wolf, as expected, he also got dizzy. Plunder succeeded. Congratulations to you for the second time to obtain talent. Dizzy. 2 times of automatically merging and strengthening. Your talent for dizziness has been upgraded to level D. Strong dizziness. Strong dizziness. The basic dizziness time lasts for 7 seconds. At the same time, there is a 50% chance of a second of freeze effect. Ha, I can't believe it. Dick grinned from ear to ear. He had thought that the talents of the other wolves were wasted, but he didn't expect that the plundering talents could be automatically piled up. The 50% of freeze effect was much stronger than that of dizziness. If it was just simple dizziness, although the enemy had fallen into a negative state of dizziness, he could still make a certain reaction. But if he was standing still, it meant that he could not move at all. Although there was only 1 second left, if it was used properly, this second was enough to determine life and death. However, when Dick was plundering the other wolves, he couldn't help but frown. Plunder failed. Hint. After plundering 2 times of magical beast under LV20 successfully, it reached the maximum plunder. System reminded him in time, which enlightened Dick. He was not a greedy person. It was enough for him to merge his talent and evolve stronger talent. He didn't feel disappointed that a magical beast could only be extracted 2 times. It seemed that when upgrading and killing magical beasts in the future, he had to try his best to find different magical beasts. He made up his mind. At this time, he also heard the roar of the magical beast. He didn't dare to neglect it. He quickly pulled out the teeth of several demonic wolves and put them into his backpack. After a few ups and downs, he disappeared into the forest fog. Wolf's teeth were the most precious thing of wolves. Even ordinary wolf teeth were priceless in Green Hand Village. Time was pressing. It was too late for him to deal with the corpses of the demonic wolves. He could only take away the most precious wolf teeth. Perhaps it would be of great use in the future. As for the scene of the murder case here, it would be divided up by a magical beast. However, Dick didn't notice that his ranking had risen by leaps and bounds to the top 50. 8 Chapter 8 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another corpse. The expressions of Edward and the other 4 people were heavy. This was the 5th corpse they had encountered after entering the fog forest. The 5 of them, except Edward, was LV10, they were all in LV9, which could be called the most luxurious group of the Green Hand Village. But even so, they still felt no sense of security. 10 minutes after they entered the fog forest, they encountered the remains of the giant bear. This confirmed Edward's guess. But he didn't expect that there were more people who were keen on upgrading than he had imagined. After entering the fog forest, those with higher levels could even run out even if they couldn't defeat the magical beasts. BDNV however, most people didn't know the level difference of magical beast here at all. They were overwhelmed by the opportunity of upgrading, muddled into it, and ended up being beheaded. Damn it! What are these people doing? Haven't they seen our announcement? Looking at the broken corpses on the ground, Edward tried his best to hold back the feeling of vomiting and said weakly. They have seen it, but they all said that. We don't want everyone to upgrade, and we want to monopolize the opportunity of upgrading. Elena, the only female member of the team, whispered. Well, now we have to find the person named Dick. Now people didn't believe what we have said. Only when the first person who entered the fog forest stands out and speaks can we stop everyone from continuing to court death. Edward was a little upset. The situation was far beyond his expectations. It seemed to be the wisest way to find Dick and let him testify. Wait, we found something ahead. A thin man shouted. His name was Eddie, who was in charge of reconnaissance in the team. His talent was level C, Hawkeye, which was the best for reconnaissance. They rushed to Eddie's seat, but what they saw made them gasp. The remains of the 5 demonic wolves scattered all over the ground, and the splashing blood drew a strange picture on the ground. Although most of the flesh and blood had been eaten up by the magical beasts, the tragic battlefield still made one's scalp tingle. Edward, can you do that? 5 demonic wolves. They were killed in no more than a quarter of an hour. Otherwise, even if that person can kill the magical beast, he will be swallowed by the magical beast caused by the smell of blood. But look at the heads of these 4 wolf corpses, their teeth have been taken away, and the rest of one's teeth are also broken. It means that after all this is done, the person who did it has time to take the treasure and run away. Eddie's voice was trembling. When he asked this question, he knew that Edward couldn't do it. Master. No wonder he killed the mutated giant bear. He is even alone. Edward couldn't help but hold his head. Although he had known that Dick was powerful, he didn't expect him to be that powerful. Well, let's get out of here quickly. The smell of blood hasn't dissipated yet. Maybe it will attract something else. Noticing that everyone was in a daze, Eddie said quickly. Hawkeye's talent brought him the extraordinary perception. He knew he couldn't stay here any longer. However, as soon as he finished speaking, their hearts trembled at the same time, as if they were gripped by an invisible big hand. The air seemed to have become a large piece of jelly, and every breath became extremely difficult. The invisible pressure surrounded their bodies, almost breaking their bones. Finally, Elena couldn't stand it anymore. Her legs became weak and she collapsed to the ground, letting out a sharp cry from her mouth. Why is still someone here? Is this place that gaining points targeted so soon? Dick said to himself with a frown. He had already left the place where he killed the demonic wolves and planned to go deeper into the forest, but the scream made him confused. Generally speaking, the level of the magical beast here was not low, and his position was deeper. Even those who wanted to reach higher levels would flinch when they came here, but the scream couldn't deceive them. Someone must have been attacked. And judging from the sound, it was from the place where he killed the demonic wolf. Dick took a deep breath and decided to go back. Maybe he could get some useful talent again. Of course, he was also very careful. After all, the fog forest was full of danger. Who knew if there would be a magical beast that could imitate the human voice? Lowering his body, Dick tried his best to hide his breath and sneaked back to the place where he had met the demonic wolf. When he was about 10 meters away from that position, Dick climbed up a big tree. The thick branches and leaves could completely cover his body, and he could clearly see the battlefield from its height. He narrowed his eyes and gathered his eyesight, trying to see what happened there. But in the next second, he covered his mouth tightly and opened his eyes wide. There were 4 magical beasts which were surrounding 5 people. No. To be exact, there were only 4 people, because the 5th person was in the mouth of a tiger-shaped magical beast. Half of the man's body had been swallowed into the mouth of the magical beast. His hollow eyes were staring at Dick. Hell! Did they want to die here? Dick couldn't help cursing in his mind. He looked away. If he continued to look at it, he would definitely vomit. Eyes of God also showed the information of the 4 magical beasts in front of him. There were 4 magical beasts, jackal, wolf, tiger, and leopard, and each of them was LV8. Their values far exceeded the same type of magical beasts. What made Dick's scalp tingle most was the dazzling word, mutated, before their names. Although he had killed an LV8 mutated giant bear in the forest alone, and his strength and level had increased greatly, he had no chance of winning against 4 mutated beasts at the same time. If he forced an attack, he would only have a dead end. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to save you, but that I can't risk my own life for you. It's all your fault. You shouldn't have come here. Dick whispered in his heart and was about to leave this place. 9 Chapter 9 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dick leaned against the tree trunk, not daring to make any noise. Although he was very careful, the wind around him brought his smell to the noses of the 4 magical beasts. The jackal suddenly twisted its ferocious head, and 2 rays of fierce light shot out from its eyes. Damn it! Dick exclaimed in his heart. He had calculated thousands of times, but he forgot that the smell would expose his whereabouts. At this moment, he had no time to hide his body. He kicked hard on the tree trunk with his feet, and his body flew backward. After landing, he didn't dare to delay and ran wildly. However, after only 2 steps, he felt a gust of cold wind behind his ears, and the malicious spirit overflowed as if to cut his own flesh. In a hurry, Dick had to dodge aside. The cold wind blew his head and rushed out. Dick felt a sharp pain in his head. He reached out his hand and touched it, only to see the blood in it. Although he had dodged quickly, the cold wind still left a long scratch on his face. The demonic jackal in front of him was standing like a human, with its front legs crossed. A mocking expression appeared on its ferocious face. Agility 80/80. The information provided by the eyes of God stunned Dick. It was 20 points higher than his agility. No wonder it could catch up with him in such a short time. The jackal let out a long howl from its mouth, and a light flashed through its misty eyes. It clung to its slender body and almost turned into a flash of blurry lightning. Dick was overwhelmed by the fear of being targeted by the hunters. At this moment, it was too late for him to rely on his eyes to see the reaction. The speed of the jackal was too fast. If he looked at it through the eyes, it was likely that his throat would be cut in the next second. He could only rely on his senses to constantly dodge, but even so, more than a dozen deep and shallow wounds had appeared on his body. The green hand cloth that he wore all the time had already been broken, it hung on his body like an act. Don't give up. Cooperate carefully. With the shouting of the human, Dick finally recognized what was in front of him. He couldn't help but give a bitter smile. He had thought that he was trying his best to escape, but in fact, he had returned here under the attack of the jackal. It was not until Dick saw the jackal's face that he realized that the jackal didn't intend to kill him there. Instead, it was making fun of him in order to force him back. Now he, like Edward and the other 3, was surrounded by the magical beast. Dick. Edward was also surprised to see Dick, but he just called out Dick's name without saying anything. After all, the situation was too urgent to say anything more. How did he know my name? Have I met him before? Dick thought to himself, but he didn't dare to ask. He just tried his best to deal with the attacks of the 4 beasts. They were now in the encirclement of the 4 beasts. Only 5 people could barely resist the attack if they worked together. But it was not a permanent solution. Dick saw a deep wound on the thin man's body, which almost broke his spine. The other 3 were out of breath. If it weren't for Edward, the 4 men wouldn't have been able to make it through. "Bro, I know you once killed the mutated magical beast. What method did you use? As you can see, now the situation is urgent. If we can't kill them, I'm afraid we will become their food." After the attack of the 4 beasts, Edward asked Dick, gasping for breath. "I'm sorry. It's not that I'm hiding something. It's just that I really don't know. I killed a bear, not these 4 kinds in front of me." Dick shook his head, but his eyes were fixed on the thinnest jackal among the 4 beasts. Although the magical beast was extremely fast and hard to guard against, as a magical beast that pursued speed, its defense was definitely the lowest of the 4 beasts. "Have you also targeted it? It is the most fragile one, but it is also the fastest. Do you have any way to subdue it?" Edward took a look at Dick's eyes. As the leader of the team, he could easily figure out which magical beast was the most fragile one. However, since there was no proper talent to limit the jackal, he could only let it harass him. "I have a way to deal with it, but you 4 have to show your flaws. You know what it means, right?" Dick said coldly. If he was alone, he couldn't compare with the jackal with high speed. But if someone offered to show his weakness to lure the jackal, then Dick would have a chance. The strong dizziness was enough to kill the jackal even if he didn't trigger the freezing effect. Edward kept silent and resisted the beast's attack silently. He knew what Dick meant. In the face of such a strong attack of the mutated magical beasts, the 4 of them were forced to show their flaws, which meant that they were handed over their lives to the magical beasts. "Captain, I heard everything," Eddie suddenly said. He had been gritting his teeth all the time. At this time, a relieved smile unexpectedly appeared on his face. "If the jackal with the best agility didn't die, we wouldn't be able to escape from here. Even if we escaped, we would still be caught up. My wound is hopeless. Dick, I believe you. You are the first person to kill the mutated magical beast. Our captain has always hoped that you can lead the human race, so you must live on." After saying that, Eddie took a big step forward and took the initiative to get out of the 5 people's formation. "No!" Edward shouted. He raised his hand subconsciously, trying to grab Eddie. But Dick grabbed him back. The next second, a gloomy cyclone came and Eddie's body was split into 2 pieces. The jackal, on the other hand, paused for a second when it finished its attack. "A whoa!" Dick let out a long howl, and the sound precisely hit the jackal. The dizziness effect is triggered. Freezing effect triggered. There was a 50% chance that he would hit the target and the effect of freezing would be triggered. Under the effect of dizziness and freezing, the red mist in the jackal's eyes became thicker and his whole body froze in the midair. Dick took a step forward, and the giant bear's blade rolled back. Immediately, blood spurted out. 10 Chapter 10 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dick cut the jackal in half before it could scream. The stinky blood splashed out and fell on the ground, making a hissing sound. Looking at the ground, small holes had been made by the jackal's blood one after another. Seeing this bloody scene, everyone felt a little nauseated. The pungent stench of blood almost made their eyes blind, but no one dared to slack off. They all held their weapons and looked vigilantly at the remaining 3 magical beasts. However, after the jackal was killed, the other 3 magical beasts didn't attack immediately. Instead, they slowly walked together and kept roaring, as if they were whispering to each other. Then, with a roar of the huge tiger, the 3 magical beast soldiers slowly retreated, and then spread their 4 hooves and quickly disappeared in the fog forest. At this time, a white light slowly floated out of the jackal and integrated into Dick's body. In an instant, Dick felt that his body was much lighter, and the muscles in his limbs were full of bounce as if he could fly out with a little strength. Then he looked at the attribute panel. After killing this mutated jackal, his experience directly increased to 7,600. Although his blood vitality was reduced because of the broken cloth, agility had increased a lot, which was comparable to a jackal. What made Dick more excited was that there was a level E treasure box in his backpack. Presumably, it fell from the bag when he killed the jackal just now. Thank you for your help. If it weren't for you, none of us would have survived. Let's get to know each other. My name is Edward. Edward walked up to Dick and reached out his hand. There was still a touch of sadness in his eyes. The sacrifice of his two companions made him very sad, but he still tried to cheer himself up and said to Dick. This time we entered the fog forest to look for you. It was you who killed the abyss demon lion and the mutated giant bear in the forest, right? It seems that you are stronger than I expected. Single kill. You are clearly not as powerful as me, but you can do something I can't do. We need a hero to lead us when we are in danger. Edward was telling the truth. Wait, how did you know that I killed the abyss demon lion and the mutated giant bear in the forest? Dick frowned. He didn't remember that he had told anyone about it. Because there is an announcement that you killed the mutated giant bear in the forest and gained prestige. When we arrived here, we saw 2 battlefields of you, so I guess that abyss demon lion was also killed by you. Edward replied frankly. Dick patted his head and then remembered the previous announcement. At that time, he was trying to avoid the magical beast, which was attracted by the smell of blood, and soon he met the demonic wolf, so he had no time to pay attention to the announcement. Now looking at his lonely name on the prestige list, he felt like weeping but had no tears. He had a divine level plunder system, which was comparable to the SSS level talent. Now that he was exposed to the public, how could he collect talent silently in the future? I'm not interested in what you said. I want to live a better life than being a human hero. As for being a savior, you'd better find someone else. Dick was a little upset and waved at Edward. But you are also a human. You are our kind. I don't know how many compatriots are still suffering in every place. How can we just sit by and do nothing? Seeing that Dick was about to leave, Edward shouted at him. Sorry, I'm not as noble as you, and I don't have such a broad-minded ideal. Dick said without looking back. How can you do this? Edward believed that you would be the savior of the human race. Because of you, we have lost 2 companions. Don't you have any sympathy? Elena couldn't help crying out. Tears streamed down her cheeks uncontrollably at the thought of her 2 companions who had died miserably. How come? Dick stopped and repeated this sentence. He slowly turned around and smiled coldly. Did I beg you to come to me? Or did I send you a message and ask you to come? I have the ability, so I'm here to kill the magic beasts. But you overestimated yourself. Don't you think it's ridiculous that you came here and accused me of losing your companion because of me? Being scolded by Dick, Elena wanted to retort, but she had no reason. She could only open her mouth in vain. And you, Edward, if I'm not mistaken, you used to be a rich man with a good education. That's why you have such great ambitions. Dick turned to Edward and said. The latter had no choice but to nod under his gaze. Before he came here, he did come from a rich family and received the best education in the world. Otherwise, he would not have awakened the level B talent. That's it. Dick sneered. Good education gives you talent so that you can be in the spotlight. As for me, I used to be just a nobody living at the bottom of society. I still remember that the man who cut my salary was a police officer, the man who robbed me unscrupulously, and those passers-by who looked on coldly. Who spoke for me at that time? My dear Edward, where were you at that time? Were you enjoying your luxurious dinner at ease? Dick said sarcastically. Seeing that the faces of Edward and others were getting worse and worse, he snorted. At that time, no one would come to save me. Why do you come to beg me to make contributions to save the whole human race? Why should I save those who have never paid attention to me? Dick took a deep breath and turned around slowly. Don't forget that I saved you just now. If you still want to thank me for saving your lives, please keep my identity a secret after you leave here. I don't like to be disturbed. Besides, I advise you to give up this unrealistic dream. No one will be willing to risk their lives to be the savior for irrelevant people. If you insist, you can only drown yourself with your dreams. After saying that, Dick kicked his legs on the ground and his body turned into a beam of light. In a few ups and downs, he disappeared into the depths of the forest.